The other thing Phil wants to know is what happened with my taxes.
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, listen, today is tax day. Today is April 15th for most, but in Florida, because of the hurricanes, we have been granted a 2-week reprieve. So we have until May 1st to file taxes. And also, apparently, if you do have tax due, like estimated quarterly or tax due, apparently that is also, I would absolutely confirm with your tax professional, but according to what we're reading from the IRS, that payments are also due on May 1st as well, where typically on April 15th, if you don't file your income taxes, you file an extension, you don't get an extension for money owed. You still have to pay the IRS what you owe them on April 15th, even though you're extending the filing of the actual return. But everything for Florida has been extended until May 1st. So Phil was asking me, what happened with your taxes? You teased it. You didn't get to it. Blah, blah, blah. He said you were going to go to a tax office to have someone check into getting your interest and fees reduced or removed. You last said your accountant told you to pay for now. Maybe you should give everyone an update on the show. Talk to you later.
That's right.
All
We
right,
found the office is like not far from this studio.
Yeah, well, no, there's some kind of an IRS tax appeal office. All right, that is last resort. So I spoke to my accountant about this. The tax appeal office that's in our office park here in St. Pete at the old Koger Center, that's like, according to my accountant, that is the office of last resort where you've exhausted everything, and it's still an IRS office. It's still run by the IRS. So the deal is this, and this is a very traumatic day for me, folks. I mean, I've got really horrific, traumatic memories of this day a year ago because I went to the Tampa, Maine post office. This is why I'm done with the U.S. Postal Service. I'm done. Done! So a year ago today, April 15th, before the show, I'm at Tampa, Maine, the airport post office at Tampa International Airport. I'm there at 4:48. 4:50, I'm there to mail my 2 tax payments. I had tax due on April 15th, and I had my April 15th quarterly estimated taxes. 2 different checks, 2 different priority mail envelopes. I got the envelopes right there at the little kiosk in the center. I then put my my form for the 1040 ES or whatever with my payment. 2 different envelopes, 2 different post office boxes in Charlotte, North Carolina. I used the machine. I printed out the postage. I have pictures of the labels. Listen to this. I even took a picture of myself in front of the wall receptacles at the airport post office, and I'm holding up the 2 packages and I'm sticking my tongue out. And it was sort of a, hey, IRS, I'm paying you my hard-earned money today on tax day. So I even took a picture of myself a year ago today, and it's still on my Instagram feed. So what happens? My 2 letters to the IRS with my checks never got delivered. In fact, it never got past the scan at Tampa International Airport. So remember, I tried to get a hold of the local postmaster, and then she then pawns me off to some PR person in town. Then I get a letter from some dude in St. Pete. We're sorry, blah, blah, blah. And then in this guy Brian's letter, he tried to insinuate that we have no proof that you actually properly placed the letters in the mail receptacle. What am I, a freaking moron? There's a hole in the wall where I put the damn things in. Right. And I said, check your freaking cameras. Check your surveillance video, and you'll see that I put anyway, my 2 priority mail, large cardboard envelopes, red, white, and blue, priority mail, they disappeared. After I put them in the wall at Tampa, Maine post office, they disappeared. I started the trace. I finally got notified back in November that my packages have been determined to be irretrievably lost. So they closed my case. Where the hell are my 2 packages? So here's the deal. I had to wait for the IRS to figure out, what they were going to do to me, string me up, because I waited a month. And I've had tax payments sent to Charlotte, North Carolina. I've had them sometimes take 3 weeks for them to cash the check. So I kept checking to see if my checks got cashed. They didn't. I kept checking the USPS site to see if my 9505 tracking number had been delivered up in Charlotte. Nothing. So on May 15th, a month later, I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm not mailing the IRS crap anymore. So I went online and I did the electronic deposit, which I'm doing from now on. And the IRS got paid. But here's the deal. I was a month late. And then it was a couple of weeks ago, as I told you on the show, this is while I'm in the Philippines. The mail arrived while I'm in the Philippines, and I got it when I got home. The IRS hit me with tens of thousands of dollars in interest and penalties, like $25,000 in interest and penalties for my 1 month late payment. I get hit with $25,000. So I have a boatload of evidence. I've got the picture of me at the post office. I've got the labels, the tracking number. I've got the receipts that show at 5 a.m. on April 15th last year, I dropped off my payments. So a pile. And I sent it all to my accountant, and then he has sent a letter to the IRS now to try to have my my interest and penalties abated. So that's where we are. But my accountant said, Steve said, hey, be patient. Just like it took the IRS almost a year to send me notification. So they racked up and jammed up, interest and penalties, right?
Why don't you call it like Optima Tax Relief? Optima Tax Relief. I hear the commercials all the time. They seem pretty reputable.
So the deal is that my accountant sent a letter saying, look at this pile of proof. My client did nothing wrong. He did everything. Look at his tax history. He's always paid on time. So my accountant says that they should remove the $25,000 in interest and penalties and absolve me of that. But my accountant says, but it's the IRS. You never know what they're going to do. But let me tell you what I did learn. I'm not sending jack crap via the U.S. Postal Service anymore.
Yeah, welcome to 2008, okay?
Yeah.
Because everybody else has been doing their taxes electronically for a long time.
It all gets filed, but for whatever reason, I went old school.
You always have.
You always are. You resist technological advancement.
I don't.
Yes, you do. When you were told that you could pay your bills online, you fought that for the longest time. Nope. I want to go and get a check and put it in an envelope and get a stamp and go to the post office. I know I put it in the mail, and I'm like, who the heck wants to waste all that energy doing that when you can go paid?
I've done bill pay and electronic. I've done that now for
paid.
I've done it for
paid.
Please stop it.
Michelle, the craziest part
I've done it for years now. Years.
2 years.
No, I've done bill pay
Maybe
online.
3.
I've done it for 10, 12 years online.
Yeah,
I've done bill
the
pay.
whole last 2 years
Knock
of the
it
Biden
off.
administration.
Knock it off.
Okay, so the craziest part about this, if this goes to court and you have to submit evidence, the only evidence of you have of being at the post office that day, that time, is a picture of himself sticking his tongue out.
Yeah.
Look at this picture here. I pulled it up from a year ago.
Doesn't he look like a loon?
Yeah.
It's April 15, 2024. There's a picture of me standing in front of the kiosks. This is at the Tampa, Maine post office at the airport, and the 2 receptacles in the wall where I put the package.
Your Honor, I'd like to submit this photograph of my client sticking his tongue out at the IRS as evidence.
And the receipts from the machine that have a timestamp of 5 a.m. I mean, all of it together. The trace, they're looking for my letters, the apologies that but I tell you what I learned. I'm not sending anything via U.S. Postal Service ever again. Nothing, zero. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you liked it. Go ahead and click, share, subscribe, all this stuff.